What if you tire before it's done?
Does it have rules?
Can more than one play?
What makes you think it's a game?
Is it a game?
Will it break?
It better break eventually.
Is there an object?
What if you tire before it's done?
Does it come with batteries?
We could charge extra for them.
Is it safe for toddlers?
How can you tell when you're finished?
How do you make it stop?
Is that a boy's model?
Can a parent assemble it?
Is there a larger model for the obese?
What if you tire before it's done?
What the hell is it? Welcome to episode 28 of the Burning Ewok podcast. I'm your host, Justin Grants, and with me as always,
Chuck?
And Dan.
And it's been a week since we talked to you all last. And Chuck, I have a feeling that you have been playing some Diablo.
A little bit. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't know, somewhere in the 200 Paragon level, and I'm still struggling with Torment 3. And I haven't even tried to go up against any of the big bosses yet. I've just been doing, dungeons and hell spawns, or whatever they're called.
So let me ask you a question, because I ran you through Pit 70, several weeks back. You should have Torment 4 unlocked, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
it wouldn't let me. I mean, I had to unlock Torment 3.
But I ran you through a Pit level 70.
I don't know, man.
Maybe you needed to be the party lead.
No, yes, you do have to be the party leader.
Okay.
You have to be.
I remember.
In order, it only unlocks for who's ever the lead party.
Okay. So what we should do is I should just run you through it in your party, and then you just go to Helltide in Torment 4 and just run Helltides and stuff, and then Nightmare Dungeons and whatnot, and pits, right? Just run pits. So here's what you need to do. You got to get a guide and follow the guide pretty much to a T for the Paragon points. Mm-hmm. The Paragon points are so very powerful, and then you need to run pits to level up your glyphs. Get your glyphs to level 45. Okay, so you want your target.
Okay.
Target is pit level 50, so that every time you level your glyphs, they go up a level 100% chance, right? So you want to get to pit level 50, where you can clear that in like 3-4 minutes.
Holy cow! What's the highest level glyph you have, Chuck?
Oh shit! I think like 20. I just hit 20 on one of them.
Like holy cow!
So at 18, it expands, right? There's a secondary. Every glyph has a secondary bonus, right? And the secondary bonus only kicks in at a certain level. It moves out.
Yeah, right? Like 20 or something, yeah.
Level 18, I think it is.
Yeah, maybe it is level 18.
It moves out. And then
yeah. Yep.
Further. Mm-hmm. So you got to have the right glyph in the right page and go through the bonuses the right way, all right? And it matches it up with your all of your gear and everything that you have. Like, so these builds are like, these people, they know what the good builds are for the most part before the season even comes out, because they theory craft it based on the dev realm.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why you're struggling, because I mean, honestly, you running Quill Volley with crappy gear should be better than my Crush build with really awesome gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now, and
And I will tell you, I was struggling at pit level 70, and then I took my glyphs to level 99, and everything got so much easier. and you with Quill Volley, you should be able to run at Paragon 200. You know, once you kind of got things lined up, you should be able to run Pit 90 in about 2.5, 3 minutes. Easy, easy. It's like you won't get touched.
Huh. Okay. Well, I did look up that website you told me to check out, so I'll go through that later.
Yep.
All right, and that's your inside baseball on Diablo 4. So now that we lost a third of our audience, no, I'm joking, guys.
We lost 2 people.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, maybe one. I don't know. For those other 2 that stuck around, thank you. Yeah. Okay. So, anything else other than Diablo?
I mean, I'm still watching Shrinking, which is really good. I highly recommend it.
Do we want to talk a little bit about Shrinking?
You guys can talk a little bit about it. I'm going to back off a little bit. You guys can go ahead for it.
I think you're at episode 4. You said.
Yeah, episode 4. So episode 4. Yeah. So that's when there's Sean kind of goes off the rails again because he's doing the truck with his dad.
Yep.
And I don't want to get in too much because the season isn't finished yet. I think the finale is coming soon. There's only 3 episodes left, if I recall. Right? It's only
yeah. We've been watching it weekly, so it kind of sucks because we have to wait. We have to wait to see the next episode.
Okay, actually, there's 12 episodes this season.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah, so season 8's coming out next week.
Episode 8. Yeah, episode 8.
So here's my my big comment on the show. And maybe it's gonna keep going down the road I thought it was gonna go down, but when the trailers hit for the season, they made it seem like Jimmy was the one who was just going to go majorly off the rails. And so far, he's keeping it together with everything going on. So that was a surprise. I thought he was going to completely revert back to...
Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people thought that, yeah.
But,
I think it might have been a mislead on purpose.
Okay. But, I mean, it's even better than the first season. I mean...
Oh,
It's awesome. It's awesome. I don't think there's a weak character or a weak actor or actress on the show.
No, and it just gets better. And it's got those moments. It's like a Scrubs or a MASH or something where you're laughing your butt off, and the next scene you're like, oh no, and you're like looking up at the ceiling, don't cry.
Yeah. We kind of had that. Both Jana and I kind of had that moment at the end of episode 4 when Brett Goldstein's character goes to the house and is like,
yep. Freaking awesome scene. That was awesome.
And what's the best friend's name? The lawyer.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He just the last episode I watched, which must be episode 7. Yeah. He was amazing in it. He was so funny.
Yeah, and God, what is it? Is it Brian?
Yeah, Brian.
Brian. He's like, it's, and I don't want to spoil it for you, Justin, because it's such a powerful scene that ends it in.
I'm just kind of trying to space out right now, and I'm taking notes for things I want to talk about. So you guys keep going. I'm not really paying attention, so it's all good.
It's let's just put it this way. It's like Brett Goldstein's character, I think it's Lewis, is nothing like Roy Kent in Ted Lasso. So it's such a striking difference that it's kind of hard to take it in sometimes. And his character, along with Brian the lawyer, at the end of episode 4, there's kind of like it's just like kind of a holy shit moment where you're like, did that just fucking happen and go down like that? And you're like, wow. So anyways, it was good. It was really good. It's been great so far. And Jan and I are going to catch up next week. So by the time we get back from Thanksgiving, we'll be able to discuss Chuck. I don't know about up
to the latest episode.
Yeah, it's possible I could be caught up by then.
Dude,
So
I'm gonna give
Give me
you
one.
my freaking login if that's what it takes, man. Just watch the damn thing so we can talk about it.
Dude, I'm watching it on my buddy's login because that's just how it's working right now. He
I got,
he logged in for me, so.
I think you'd be really proud of me though, Dan, because I started season 2 of Fargo.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
So we started it like last night, and we got like 40 minutes into the first episode, and my wife's like, "Yeah, I'm falling asleep. Let's stop," because she doesn't want to sleep in it, and I'm like, ah. And the first episode's already got me hooked. Like half hour in, I'm like, here we go. I love it already.
yeah, and it just gets better. That season gets stronger and stronger and stronger and never stops.
But I mean, the connection already with the first season, like the cops, that's Molly's dad, and that's Molly in the
Yeah.
beginning. And I'm getting nervous because the mom's in the show and the mom's not alive later on. So I'm like thinking about all different things that could possibly happen, like everybody's stories. So
I thought they covered how she died in season 1.
they might have. And
So
I don't
won't
remember.
spoil it if you don't know. I mean, you'll get to it by.
Okay.
Did you finish episode 1?
No. Let's put it this way. Last thing I saw was the cops came to investigate the diner murder,
Oh.
and they saw the shoe in the tree,
Oh yeah.
and that's right there is where he ended. So that's where I'm at, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to go more. And again, like the cast just gets more like, oh my god, he's in it. Oh, she's in it. This is great. It's so cool. So I'm glad I got into this show so you could get into this show so I could get back into this show. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. I just went like, how far in the episode did you get to Kieran Culkin's last scene in the episode?
If it involved the hood of a car, that's the last I've seen, and that's all I want
Okay.
you to say. Don't say anything else.
Not saying anything else.
Okay. What a great scene, though. Oh man, just they open up with a bang, man. Chuck, I know you get like all worked up with anxieties and stuff with certain types of things, but I really think you'd be fine watching this show.
Well, maybe.
Because it's like it's dumb people doing bad things and them trying to cover it up, and it just getting worse and worse and worse for them.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Oh, it's amazing. I love watching. It's like, yeah, the way it all falls together, I love.
And the good people that keep everything normal within all of the craziness.
Or yeah, just trying to manage the insanity around them. Yeah, yeah.
So you're not rooting for the villain.
No. Well, I mean, you kind of are.
Sometimes.
No, you're not really rooting. Like I would say, like in the first season, you never root for Billy Bob Thornton's character, but his character is also at the same time so interesting and so over the top crazy that there's just like it's a great, like if you are an actor, that'd be like a dream role type of thing. Yeah, right. Where you get to
he can just do that though. Like he's excellent at that.
Yeah.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, and all I can say is, like if you even look into the series at all, and then you'll be like, all right, what's the connection season to season? Because there's some big year gaps in between each one, and each one, season 1 and 2 have the most direct connection to each other, I feel like.
Okay.
But there are Easter eggs for all the seasons and all of the seasons.
Have you watched all 4?
I'm on season 5.
Oh, there's 5
or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there are 5 seasons.
Yeah, I'm on season 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Season 4 is Chris Rock.
Is it done after that, or are they doing more after this? Does anybody know?
Season 5 just came out last year or so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so they could do another one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking to see. There's nothing on the wiki page about a season 6, so but it could be.
Okay.
I see that too.
So yeah, started that. Kind of coming to the end of What We Do in the Shadows. It's got a few episodes left, and that show's gonna be done. And then I really want to start that. Was it the Chinatown Interiors?
Oh yeah, I started it. I watched the first episode.
How was
It's
that?
like a home makeover show.
Dude,
No,
it
it's
is great. The cast is great. It is literally though, like I cannot stop thinking about red shirts watching it.
really red
Yeah,
shirts.
because the premise is almost the exact same as red
Okay,
shirts.
okay, all right.
So,
So
except
for
instead of
those,
Star Trek, it's it's like LA Law or not LA Law. It's special victims units, and you keep expecting like Ice-T to walk out.
gotcha. So for those that haven't read the book Red Shirts by John Scalzi, Red Shirts is a book where there's a crew on a certain starship with a different name that isn't Enterprise, but it's very much like Enterprise. And this whole group of characters wear red shirts, and every single time that this starship ends up at a new location, they always beam down to go on some adventure, and one of them always has to go with, and for whatever reason, they never make it back. And and so they're all getting suspicious of what's going on. Why is this crew with its very charismatic captain and very grumpy, doctor and logical thinking first mate, why do they keep on doing these things that are killing all these, people wearing the red shirts? And
Plus the bonus of the captain's always sleeping with all of
yeah,
the crew members.
yeah. Oh, it's so funny. It's a great book. Truck, that is like right up your alley of anything.
Yeah, I know.
And
I should read it.
I think you would like Scalzi in general. Scalzi's a great author. It's
Oh,
very
what's the monkey one?
the monkey one.
The
Get
the like
get
the,
get
the one
fuzzy.
where Fuzzy
Get
Nation.
Fuzzy Nation. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
Fuzzy Nation. That's actually that was a good one. That was one of his first big
yeah.
hits, I
That
think. Yeah,
A
after
Four Old Man's War. That's the one that hooked me on his books was
yeah.
Fuzzy Nation. You were like, Dan, read Fuzzy Nation, so I did.
Yeah, he's got some good ones. I really like the Lock-In series too. So,
Yes, that and the audio version is read by what's his name?
Will Wheaton.
Well, I thought was it Will Wheaton? I thought Lock-In was by what's his
No,
name from Heroes.
I'm pretty sure it's Will Wheaton. If somebody wants to do a middle-aged men Googling to find out what's going on in their podcast thing real quick, Will Wheaton does most all his books except for Old Man War series. I was
Okay.
pretty sure it was Will Wheaton because I listened to both of those. Although right now I'm also reading a book. I'm actually physically holding a book in my hands and reading it. And
It's
it's something
okay. Yeah, it is Will Wheaton.
was
Though
it
they have
Will Wheaton?
another version now by Amber Benson who does the reading, which is kind of
Oh, okay. Well, I've only done the Will Wheaton ones. I like him
okay.
as he does a pretty good job reading. I like Will Wheaton.
Who
You know.
doesn't?
Oh, you know what? It's his other book, Dispatcher, that Zachary Quinn. Is it Zachary Quinn? Zachary Quinto.
Quinto,
Reads.
yeah.
Yeah, Quinto reads. So Zachary Quinto does the whole Dispatcher series, which if you haven't done that yet,
Which I
there's three
haven't
of them.
done that one. I haven't done that
They're
one.
really short, so it's one of those ones where you want to grab it when it's on sale for like $4 and not burn a credit on it.
Gotcha.
Because they're only like 3-4 hours, if that.
That's probably why I haven't read those. But I still have to do Kaiju Society and his newest one, which was like Starter Villain.
Okay. Dispatcher was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to John Scalzi. I follow him on Blue Sky. I'm gonna have to go and let him know we're talking. We're giving him a bump. He's
So hey, before you move on, or start something new, you said something about
reading a real book.
Macaulay Culkin's brother. No, not about the book.
Kieran Culkin is in
Right.
Fargo season 2. Yes.
Yeah, and then Macaulay Culkin they just announced is going to be on Fallout season 2.
Yes. He's going to be the doctor. It sounds like.
Yeah.
From the New Vegas doctor.
Okay.
So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yes. I just thought I'd bring that up because I saw that earlier. And
Culkins are killing it. It's like Home Alone all over again.
Made you come back.
Well, Kieran's been doing pretty well for himself for a while.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So
for sure. All right, let me catch you up on what I've been doing this week. So besides family stuff and
Legos?
And stuff. What's that?
Legos? I'm
I
waiting
did
for Lego.
a little bit of Legos. But I watched a documentary called Immediate Family. And it was awesome. And Justin, this is gonna be, I don't know how you haven't watched it yet. Like, how did you miss this?
I don't know. Like I had to look it up, and I watched the trailer after you mentioned it. And I'm like, how did I miss this? I think it actually was up for
It won
best
so many
documentary, like at the Oscars
Golden
and everything.
Globes. Yeah. So, ultimately this comes down to like this group of session musicians who essentially launched the careers of James Taylor, Carole King, Jackson Brown, right? And have worked with some of the biggest rock stars of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, like Keith Richards, Phil Collins, Linda Ronstadt. I mean, Don Henley. It goes on.
Yeah, they were all in there. Stevie Nicks, Neil Young.
Yes.
It
So
was
these guys
crazy.
were like a bunch of guys who, like, all kind of, ended up in this musicians enclave in Laurel Canyon, California, which is like when you're heading down to the beach in LA, you got to go through a canyon to get there from the valley, right? So Laurel Canyon is just one of the like roads. Laurel Canyon Drive goes from the valley to Malibu.
Well, you watched? Did you watch the Foo Fighters show on HBO?
Oh no, I never did.
Okay, the LA episode. It's Sonic Highways. Is
Okay.
Laurel Canyon? I believe it's Laurel Canyon. Is like the LA episode.
So Peter Asher is like the producer, like the record producer that produced all of these, folksy rock and blues and in the 60s and 70s, right? And he brought all these people together at this studio and just started tapping these guys that came in, and they all started out like almost like college kids who had been in some bands but were okay, but then they just fell in with all these other really talented people. And I mean, I think the list of it's like 100 top hits these guys either co-wrote or played on their original recording. So watch the documentary. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun just to watch and hear all the music and see all these crazy popular, like Neil Young, go, hey, I wouldn't have a career without these guys,
What did you watch it on?
It's on Hulu. I think it's on like a ton of other stuff too, but it's definitely on Hulu. That's where I watched it.
Cool.
And
that's one I'll check out.
So that led me down. So I'm guessing some algorithm saw that I was watching that. Something's tracking me in a cookie somewhere. And then I watched a short form video about a song, and it's a song that almost everybody knows by Chicago, 25 or 624, right? And
I can't wait to hear about this.
Yeah, so that prompted me to give you guys our, prompt for the week, right? Which is songs that people either don't know what the meaning is, and the actual meaning is like so like off the wall. You're like, holy, really? No, it can't mean that. Mm-hmm. Or just people think it's one thing and it's totally something else, right? So anyways, I watched it. I'm like, that's all this means, because I listened to the song. It's like 25 or 624 by Chicago has such good harmonics, and music in it. And I always, I never stop to really think about the lyrics. And when you stop to think about the lyrics, what it actually means and what it is, it's like, this song doesn't really fucking mean anything. I mean, I guess you could say it means something, but it is literally they had just started the band, and they were like the house band at the Whiskey A Go Go, right, in LA on Sunset Strip. And they had finished one show, and they went back. The guy went back to his house, and he was waiting for one of the other guys in the band to come over to write some music. And he's sitting there, and he's like probably a little stoned. He was definitely drunk. And it's like 4 a.m, and he's like, oh, look, all the lights are of the city, because wherever his house was, he had like a good view over like Burbank and West Hollywood and Hollywood and everything. You see all the lights, and you see the sun coming up. And, so like the whole, waiting for the break of dawn, right? And 25 or 624 is like, he's got a guitar riff, and he's like, I need some lyrics, and he's looking at the clock, and he couldn't tell what time it was, and it was either 25 or 26 to 4 in the morning. And he just cut the 20 from the 26, and that's your title of the song. And so he's playing, and the other guy shows up, and he's like, oh, what are you playing? He's like, oh, I kind of just wrote a dumb song while I was waiting for you. He's like, oh, what are the lyrics? He's like, don't worry about the lyrics. I was just writing things I saw on the wall or and everything in it is just something that he's writing the music, like it's stuff that he's seen outside his window or around his apartment or anything like that. So that's what that song means. And some people are like, oh, it's a metaphor. And it's like, no, literally the guy was fucking bored waiting for his bandmate and just started making up lyrics to the songs, right?
That's a great story. It reminds me of one that actually Dave Grohl tells, where like a fan came up to him and was like, oh, Learning to Fly, that song means so much to me. And she's like, what was your, like, what were you really talking about in that song? Like, what did it mean to you? And he's like, no, I just wanted to learn how to fly like a plane. Awesome.
So I prompted you guys for some songs, but first I took a cue from you, Chuck.
Oh, really?
I got 3 other songs, and one of them, the meaning is fake. So I'm sure you guys are going to get it right away, but I'm going to give it a shot because all 3 are very popular songs, right? So I'll give you all 3 of them, and you tell me which one is fake, right?
Okay.
All right. The first one, Macarena. So it's like it's played at weddings all over the place.
Yep.
But it is literally about a woman cheating on her boyfriend when her boyfriend goes away to the army. And it's played at like every wedding, and it's about infidelity.
Yeah, it's actually like, doesn't she cheat with like 2 guys?
I thought it was she cheating with 2 guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that she was cheating with 2 guys.
So, all right, song number 2, "Closing Time" by
Yep.
What's the band? I didn't write down the band. I can never remember the band. It's like
Semisonic.
Is it Semisonic? Okay. So "Closing Time" is like everybody, they played at the end of the night in the bar and everything.
Yeah.
It's not actually about closing of the bar. It's actually about the premature birth of his daughter, and closing time is his daughter getting ejected early from his wife's uterus.
I would not have guessed that.
That is absolutely true, from what I've read.
I know who. You want to take me home?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I didn't know that one. That one's a new one. Thank you.
All right. The third song, "I Am the Walrus," is actually written about a canceled skit from the Ed Sullivan Show where John Lennon didn't want to go on, so he wanted to dress up as a walrus. And it was going to be Paul in the kitchen making eggs for Ringo and George, and he was just going to start chucking raw eggs at them. So they wanted a little act of disobedience. So they wrote the song for the Ed Sullivan Show, and they wouldn't let him do the skit. So it ended up being held back for a few years, and then they released it later on. So those are your 3.
Well, that's a hell of a story, Dan.
I'm going to call BS on that one.
I'm going to say you're BSing us, and that's true.
No, I think I'm going to go with I Am the Walrus is the BS story.
It is I Am the Walrus. But the
I
funny
like it
thing
though. But I mean, if you would have told me no, it's actually true and they're all true, and I lied to you, I would have been like, all right.
The funny thing is, I Am the Walrus could actually be true, because it's one of those songs where John Lennon and like the Beatles will not tell anybody what it's actually about. And apparently, as I'm looking this up, they wrote like 3 or 4 different songs that was literally just to fuck with people, because they didn't want, they were
the biggest band in the world,
and they were so like hopped up on drugs that they didn't want anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like you had those where they would go so much the other way, or you have a situation like Kurt Cobain when he wrote the song "Rape Me." Everybody's like, "Whoa, what's that about?" And they're like,
"Oh, I think I clearly know."
And they're like, and he's like, "No, I wrote an anti-rape song, and I needed to be as like explicitly clear about it as possible because apparently Polly wasn't enough. People didn't quite get Polly, so he wrote 'Rape Me' to be like, yeah, I wanted to be as like straightforward as possible.
Okay.
I have a few. So and these are songs that I have. I think two of them you guys will probably know the story on. One of them is in. Three of them are very very popular songs. Two of which you may have already known the story. So I'll start with those two. One of which is a song that gets played at a lot of weddings. And none of these are fake. These are all true stories. I'm not trying to fake anybody out here. So this is one that gets played. A lot of people have picked it for their wedding song and think it's just a beautiful song. Think it's about commitment and everything. And it's a song by the Police called "Wrapped Around Your Finger," where
Oh, when you said
Really?
police, I thought you were gonna go there. They have a couple other ones that are like kind of out there too.
oh yeah. And like the entire thing is like when Sting gets asked about it, he's like, "Yeah, good luck to that couple." It's a song about a stalker.
I thought
So
that's Every Breath You Take.
oh
Yeah, that's
shoot.
You
also
got the wrong title.
I wrote
You
it down
screwed
wrong.
up.
I wrote it down wrong.
Yep.
that's
Yep, it's Every
unfortunate.
Breath You Take is about
Every
a
breath you
stalker.
take
Yeah,
is
you're
about
right.
a stalker.
Oh man, I sound like a complete
But
idiot
come
now.
on, no.
Of all of us, I did not expect you to screw up music stuff.
Are people seriously like not listening to the lyrics of the song? Because like that song is very clearly about a stalker, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, I think also that
Let it
song.
come
Wait,
out,
no,
right?
no. I got it right. This song is about a stalker also.
Well, this guy really likes stalkers.
Well, this is the Synchronicity album where he had that bad breakup.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I think I got this right because I think there's multiple ones on this album. So it's like the big one though was
Every Breath You
Every
Take
Breath
was
You
a
Take,
big
but it's
song.
obvious.
Yeah.
But that's so obviously.
Right. That's
Yeah,
obvious.
but
You know?
I mean, think of that time period, right? Like back then, it's so funny. It's 40 fucking years ago now, right? Back then, right, we were still kind of in the leftovers. Like we were raised by the boomers, right? So there was still that whole, I don't know if it's really misogyny, but like the man, the knight in shining armor rescuing the princess because women needed to be rescued and taken care of, right? So there was still a lot of that being taught to us. So if you fell in love with somebody, you were supposed to do everything you can to get her back, right? Because she was yours.
Or
And
winner.
so, like, say
The
anything.
winner, yeah.
Like,
The winner.
literally
Yep.
a creepy guy standing outside her window until she takes him back, holding up their, playing their music, right? And it's like today, and he's like, "What, dude? What if I can do she's stalker?" Man, I'm dropping a lot of f-bombs today.
You have you have. Thanks. I'm still gonna say that we have like no explicit language in it, like I always do.
Well,
You know what? Okay, so where I had it wrong was I was honestly thinking Every Breath You Take, and I threw this together last minute, but I do know that Wrapped Around Your Finger does get used a lot. And it's more about a controlling relationship than it is like about a loving relationship.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna piecemeal my idiotness of a few minutes ago and bring it back to I kind of know what I'm talking about with this song, but it was like one that's like about highly manipulative relationship, all that, and I'm gonna move on from this one now. But yeah, but it still stands as a song that is like its lyrics are misguided. People don't really understand what it's about. They use it as a love song. It isn't. I mean, some of the other more famous ones. Chuck, you have a few. I don't want to say anything in case I like use one of yours. One of the big ones though is "Hallelujah" by Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, yeah.
And that's
Tell us what you think it's about because I've always thought I knew what it was about.
What do you think it's about,
And
Chuck?
I've always thought it was about because it kind of seems to start telling the story of King David where he falls in love with the woman on the roof. Oh, what's her name? Shit, I should know this. But anyway, I feel kind of like it's a little bit of like kind of a metaphor for like losing your way, letting someone seduce you, in a way. But to be honest, the last verse always kind of messes me up, so I'm not quite sure where it goes after that. But like that's how I've always heard it. I personally like Puddle's Pity Party. I like his version of it.
Opening for Weird Al Yankovic.
I know he is. Yeah.
Did you get your tickets?
Not yet. They don't go on sale until April.
Oh, I know. I got the tickets for up in Madison also.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of people also think it has to do about religion, finding religion, things like that, with the obviously word of hallelujah. But there's like a lot of different meanings in the songs. But usually Leonard Cohen comes back to it's about sex, straight up, and love and deep relationships and connections. So there's a lot of different things on this one though, but I mean it's definitely one of those ones that people seem to make it their own, becomes yeah. So
Cool.
I think it's used really, really well in the movie Watchmen.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So just because I actually looked that one up before, I chose the ones that I did. It was on my list and I let it drop off because I thought one of you might do it. He performed it a lot live, right? But he claims to have never used the same lyrics twice.
Oh, really?
He says every version he ever sang, he redid the lyrics depending on the mood he was in.
Huh. Yeah, I feel like that I read something like that he has multiple verses that he'll throw in.
Mm-hmm. And it is the most covered song of all time with over 300 renditions recorded.
Bullshit. Happy Birthday is way more covered.
Recorded.
I gotcha. I was joking.
Recorded.
Yeah.
And I don't think that one counts.
I agree.
Yeah.
So,
all right. What else you got?
So I got a fun one. This is similar to like how your Chicago song was made. There's a song by Soundgarden called "Like Suicide."
I love that song.
It's a
oh my god, I love that song.
Brilliant, beautiful. What do you like?
Tell me about that song, man.
So the fun anecdote is he couldn't figure out the lyrics to what he was trying to make, and he wrote the song, and it was killing him. It was absolutely killing him, and he was working in his basement, and he walked upstairs to get coffee and just kind of think it through. And as he walked upstairs, a bird flew into his window and hit the ground, broke its neck, and started flopping around where he had to actually end its life and killed it.
Oh yeah,
and
cool.
So he came up with the line, "She lived like a murder," whether or not you could think of Murder of Crows, things like that. And she flew so sweetly. She lived like a murder, but she died just like suicide, flying into the window.
Right.
So it was about a bird flying into a window, breaking its neck.
Wow.
So that's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's a pretty fun one. I really like that anecdote, and I got that from it was a podcast on Spotify that does like it's called Bandsplain, and they did a whole series on Soundgarden, and that was one of the fun tidbits I got out of that.
Nice.
And then my last one is a very, very popular song called "Alive" by Pearl Jam. And
I knew you were going to do this one.
I had to, man, because and this is like something where Eddie Vedder himself has said, yeah, the meaning of this song has actually changed over the years. Because like now, it's kind of like, it seems like it's a survivor tale. Like, I've gone through all these trials and tribulations, but I'm still alive, where it wasn't that way. It was just like, oh my God, I'm still alive. Because the original song, "Son, Have I Got a Little Story for You," is a story about a woman who has had a son. The father had died, and the son is growing up and is now becoming a man and looks just like his father.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother can't help herself but have a relationship now with her son. And so it's this like abusive relationship of
Look at Chuck's face.
Yeah,
Right?
That is not what I got out of that song.
That's
but
what the
okay.
original. It was from the Mama Son
Wow.
tape. Yes, and that was the original story that it was based on. It wasn't just like Eddie Vedder like finding out. It had nothing to do with that. It was actually a story,
Whoa.
maybe taken like a little bit from that. I mean, he didn't have that situation, but then he wrote this whole narrative around that. Yeah. So
Damn.
so yeah, kind of weird when you hear that. It's a kind of a weird, dark, twisted song. Yeah. But
No.
but now
That's
like
weird.
he has said like it has become because of where it's become this like rock anthem that it's more of like a joyful experience. Because before it was more of a like a downtrodden weird song. Now it's a happy song.
You know, being a fan, a lot of those early songs were. I think I still feel like a lot of his songs are in general.
I think a lot of his stuff is more. I think they're a little happier and sillier now than they used to be. I think they're a lot more. I mean, like Waiting for Stevie. That entire song was written because he was waiting for like on the new album, Waiting for Stevie. I don't know if you guys know that one, but they were waiting for Stevie Wonder to come and help record when Eddie Vedder wrote a solo album before this album came out. Before Dark Matter came out, on his solo album, he was getting all these different people to work with him on each song, and one of which was like Paul McCartney, another one was Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder said he'll be there at 4 p.m., and he wasn't there. And so they were waiting, and then he was going to be there at 10 p.m., and he wasn't there, and he's like, well, it's freaking Stevie Wonder. You're not going anywhere. You're going to wait until he gets there because he said he was coming, so he's going to come. So he ended up getting there like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, like 8 hours later than he said he was going to get there. And in the meantime, they wrote the song Waiting for Stevie, which ended up on the Dark Matter album.
Do you sing songs to yourself? Do you just make up songs from time to time? You're like walking around the house doing things and you just start singing, like making up the words and stuff?
I will be editing this podcast and I'll sing a song about editing the podcast, and it'll be just like making up whatever dumb lyrics in my head at the time.
Yeah, and you know what though? Like I really wish that like there was something recording me at all time, because like some of those songs make me laugh so hard and then they're gone like that. They're just like a poof of amazing inspiration and then they vanish.
That's funny.
So Chuck, what do you got?
Oh man. First of all, you know, you guys have good ones. I feel kind of dumb, but anyway, the Beatles song "Blackbird."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Many people believe that it's about the civil rights, and Blackbird is actually Paul McCartney has said that it's about civil rights, but really it's just about a blackbird. No, that's not true. It is about the civil rights movement in the 1960s, which I thought was interesting because it's one of his proudest songs. Like, if you ask him, of all the songs you've written, like, what's the one that makes you the most proud? He says this song, and it's because it's literally him, an acoustic guitar, and his foot, and that's it. Like, it's such a basic song, and it's so good.
He nailed that with a few of them. There's that. I mean, he did the same thing with Yesterday also.
Yeah, but he points out that one particularly.
I believe it.
I never even looked into what it was about.
It
makes sense. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Specifically about a specific. It's like there's an actual specific. It's the whatchamacallit.
You're getting really close in detail.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh. It's about the Little Rock, Kansas desegregation of the high school.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, okay.
And then they got to meet them like like a year or two later or something like that. Yeah. And
that would make total sense. Yeah, I thought that was cool. I think that's a really cool song. It's one that I didn't necessarily enjoy when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I really like it. Another song that I think is really interesting is 99 Red Balloons.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys have heard this song a million times because it's been played a billion times. But just recently, I was listening to a podcast called Fubar. Have you guys ever heard of the podcast called Fubar?
Yeah.
Have you listened to it, Justin?
No, I know of it though. I actually have it on my list. I just never listened to it because. Anyway, go ahead.
Let me see if I can real quickly just. What's the name of the guy that is the author of it.
And I have some honorable mentions too that I'll go through when you're done, Chuck. I got like 3 really funny ones.
Anyway, there's this podcast called Fubar, and it's about this like, it's kind of about like the Cold War and like an incident where we got really, 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 really close to total world war. It's a really interesting podcast. I think you guys it's totally worth listening to.
Mm-hmm.
But he starts the podcast with that song. I'm pretty sure, like first episode maybe, and he talks about how that song is about these 2 kids that release these balloons, and the computers see the balloons and think it's an attack from the enemy, and how these 99 red balloons lead to world destruction. And I was like, "Holy crap!" That song
is that really what they said?
It is.
Yeah.
So
apparently, in the German version, is much darker.
See, I always thought it was a story of like kids on the other side of the Berlin Wall seeing the balloons going up, and it was like a symbol of hope. So apparently I'm wrong, but that's what that's what I always thought it was about.
A birthday party in West Berlin, and the balloons were released after like the birthday party, and they apparently caused like a blip on the East German radar. And so they scrambled jets. They, put their missile defense on high alert, and it apparently caused some big international incident. That's what they said.
That's an actual event that occurred?
Yes.
Okay, so
actual event that occurred.
I'm gonna interrupt your list here with an anecdote regarding the Berlin Wall and all that too. So you guys both know the Scorpions.
Yes, absolutely.
This is also
This is actually a huge part of that podcast, by the way.
Do they talk about with the song "Wind of Change"?
Yeah, that's a huge part of that podcast.
All right, so there is an actual podcast called "Wind of Change" by Crooked Media that put out 2-3 years ago, and it's all about the rumor that the song "Wind of Change" was actually a psyop, that the CIA had worked with the Scorpions to get this song out there to lessen the blow of the changes that were happening when the Berlin Wall came down, and so they go on this entire investigative tour trying to figure out, was this, and like they go to some place and be like, oh, you don't want to ask these questions, and it sounded like, oh my god, is it really what it is? I don't know, should I say what it was or if it was or not? I don't know.
It's been out for a while, so
yeah. I mean, they eventually get to the Scorpions, and the lead guy forgot his name, and they talk to him, and he's like, "No, man, we just wrote a song." But it's awesome that you guys think that it could have been that. But it's a great journey listening to that podcast, though, because it gives you a lot of history of everything going on at the same time too. Anyway, go ahead, Chuck.
It is a really good story.
Yeah, and that's a great podcast. Yeah, it was really good.
Like you said, you're just like on the edge of your seat. You're like, no way, no way, no way. And then, at the end, it's like, well, they were in Russia. They were on that side of the Berlin Wall, and they wrote the song because they could see just the change taking place. Like this was, I think, before the wall fell. They wrote the song, I think.
I don't know. I think maybe they wrote it then, but I think it was released right after the wall fell.
Well, I mean, and which is one of the reasons they thought that, hey, this would be where those rumors of it being a psyop all started to come about. It was a fun story, though. Super fun. All right, Chuck, what else you got?
The other song I had was actually a misheard lyric. So I was listening to the Professor of Rock, and the writer of The Last Train to Clarksville, he had heard the very end of... Do you know this story? He heard the very, very end of Paperback Writer, and he missed, like, at the very end. Like, so he turned on the radio, and he heard, like, the last vocal of the song, and he thought they said last train or something like that. He didn't know what he was hearing. So he wrote that down or whatever. And the next day he heard the song, and he was like, well, I don't know where that comes from, because that's not clearly what they weren't saying that. But he took that lyric, and he wanted, because he was working on this project for the this TV show that they were making, and they were writing these songs, and he wrote this song, Last Train to Clarksville, And Clarksville was originally Clarksdale because it was like a place he actually visited as a kid, but they didn't think Clarksdale sounded right, so they changed it to Clarksville. And then lo and behold, there's actually a military base in Clarksville, Tennessee. So like the song is actually really poppy and really fun, but it's really a song about a dude that's leaving for the Vietnam War and he doesn't know if he's ever going to come back. Like it's a poppy happy song, but it's also sad and dark and
Where my sister lives, Clarksville, Tennessee.
yeah. You know what, man? I love Clarksville, Tennessee. I had some
101st Airborne.
amazing Mexican food there.
So
So good.
So I think that's kind of interesting because there's that and 99 Red Balloons, where these like happy sounding songs that have these really dark things. Like more recently, you could take Foster the People and Pumped Up Kicks.
Yeah,
which is a song about
Pumped
school
Up
shootings.
Kicks.
But I mean,
Jeez.
but that's a jam.
Jeez.
that song slaps, and I love that song. And but it's like it drives my wife nuts. She's like, it's too happy, and I'm like, they're diffusing it. It's part of it. It's part of the cope. It's these are this generation that wrote that song lived through a lot of this era, so it's not like that stuff all happened after we were in high school. But
my sister, my daughter was terrified. Like kids would pop their water bottles, the caps on their water bottles. It would send her into like freaking terrors because she thought there was a school shooting happening.
Yeah,
like she I mean, it was terrible. It's freaking terrible.
Well, just tell her to listen to Pumped Up Kicks.
Yeah, that's what I'll tell her. I'm like, hey,
right.
listen to the song.
I got 3 other fun ones, and then I actually on the same kind of. What about Who Let the Dogs Out? Right?
Please, for the love of God, no.
Who Let the Dogs Out is actually
a song about the dogs got out.
No, it's a song about trying. It's supposed to be a feminist rallying cry.
Shut your face.
Yeah,
shut your face.
It is. It's supposed to be about like because of it was written by an African American band, right? I think they're from like Atlanta or something, or from the Caribbean, right? Where the men are always catcalling the women there, and they wanted to make an anthem to get them to stop. So if you listen to the lyrics, you'll hear that it's actually about women, like walking down the street, and then somebody catcalls them, and they're like, hey, who let the dogs out? Because they're like, roof, 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 to the women, right? And that's what it's actually about.
First of all, Dan, fuck you for even bringing this song up on this podcast. It's such a shitty song. I wouldn't even think to even analyze the lyrics of a song that shitty.
All right, seriously. I got 3 more for you then. All right. Everybody's favorite graduation song, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life.
Yes.
It's nothing to do with anything as profound as being reflective on your years at school. It's literally about his ex-girlfriend and is like, freaking good riddance. I hope you had the time of your life. Get out of my life.
That's the Green Day song, right? We're talking about.
It is a Green Day.
Yeah.
See, you say that popular graduation song. I always think of like "School's Out" by Alice Cooper or the Baz Luhrmann "Wear Sunscreen." Those are like the 2 I would think of. But anyway,
next one, "Total Eclipse of the Heart."
Oh, so good, so good. It is
a vampire love story. I'm always in the dark. Nothing I can do. Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Okay,
I'm down with that.
I think it's cool.
I got somebody who changed the lyrics to "I totally shit when I fart."
Oh my God!
Last one, Summer of '69, is not about the year. It's about the sexual position. '69.
Is it really?
Yes.
Got my first real 6-string.
Shut up! It is not.
Bought it at a 5 and dime.
A particular year. It was just he wanted to make a song and get the lyric 69. With 69 in it. Yeah, it's his own private joke.
But okay, here's the thing.
But there's nothing in this song that would let you know that unless he would say that.
Yeah.
So
it's about
so that's his like little secret. That's like
it's his summer of, hey, we're all growing up. We're all, got
Yeah,
my first
okay.
real job. I got my first girlfriend.
There you go.
Yep,
There
he
you
bought the
go.
guitar so he
There
could
you
get the girl.
go. Yeah, getting.
Bought the guitar so he could get the girl, and now it's the summer of '69.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So, anyways, that was the fun one. Yeah.
So, 17 years ago, Rock Band came out for video game systems everywhere. And I just wanted to throw that out there because we're talking about music and the influence that Rock Band had on my life was rather significant. And not that it like would have changed how much I would have liked or not liked music,
Mm-hmm.
but it was definitely something that introduced me to a lot of songs I didn't know about, such as Green Hills and High Tides by the Outlaws, or um, Freya by The Sword, or well, maybe that was a Guitar Hero song. Either way, um, it was also something that I was able to bring into my house and play with the family. While my oldest son was only maybe 3 when that came out,
Yep.
um, it was like something he kind of grew up with from that point. All 4 Rock Band, including the Beatles Rock Band, also, and I think it actually really like gave him a love for music and rock music and introduced him at such an early age to all these different songs.
Mm-hmm.
And same with my other son. And just I mean, where we are as a family musically is like it's a thing in our house. Music
Mm-hmm.
is a thing. And I think Rock Band had a pretty good influence on that. So I just want to give a shout out to all those harmonics folk out there.
Mm-hmm. Was
Yeah.
it Rock Band 2 where you could have the band and it saved
Yep.
you? Yeah, it
Yep.
was Rock Band 2 that introduced the band concept, right?
No,
Yep.
that
We
was
had the
actual. No, 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 no.
Was it?
Guitar Hero was originally done by Harmonix, and they did Guitar Hero 1, 2, and 3. And then they broke off and made Rock Band, which introduced the drums, the bass guitar, and the singing.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
Activision, which held the license for Guitar Hero, then decided to make their own version of Guitar Hero,
Mhm.
Guitar Band Hero, or whatever they did,
Yeah.
and which was a crappier version of Rock Band
Rock.
as far as I'm concerned. I will die on that hill. And then Rock Band 2 came out, and it was just like a better cleaned up version of Rock Band 1, where
Okay.
they had a much better music store. But then Rock Band 3, it introduced the keyboard, introduced harmonized singing with multiple, like up to 3 people could sing.
Mhm.
And what else did it introduce? The extra cymbals on the drums. But then you found out that they embedded the backward cymbals into all the other drum songs before. They were already
Yeah.
in there, and it just unlocked it all. So yeah, man, there was some cool stuff. And they also had the real guitar. They had the real mode where you could actually play. And I still have one of those guitars, one of those Fender Strats. With
Nice.
yeah, but I never really played it that way. It wasn't
Don't
as
Okay.
much
throw
fun.
What
that.
was your band
Not.
name in Rock
That's
Band?
Humungent Star. So, and it was all because of my kid, Will, my older one. He, he just right when that came out, he was talking about something, and he meant to say the word humongous, and he was
Mhm.
talking about like a star, like oh my gosh, stars are so huge, they're humongous, but he said humungent, so Humungent Star became our band name. What about you
Nice.
guys?
So we had it was me, Jana, uh, her cousin Courtney, and her husband Joe May. Which do you know
Yeah,
Joe May?
I don't. Yeah, we played softball. Yeah,
Yeah, right. That's I forgot
yeah, I
about
know
that. And
Joe. Of
then
course, I know
Terry and
Joe.
Casey would occasionally be there with us, and we were the Wild Stallions.
Oh, there you
The
go.
Wild Stallions. Yep.
That's cool.
And Joe May was always the singer on
Uh
anything hard because he couldn't sing, but he could just screech at the right pitch to hit all the notes.
huh.
Yeah,
So
I
there are
can't
songs
sing
out
at
there that were
all.
really fast and really hard, and he was literally just screaming at the right pitch, and he would get a perfect. It was so freaking frustrating.
I can't sing. I have nodules on my voice box. So now that I'm older, like if I sing in the car, actually it hurts. Like I really should have surgery, but I'm afraid of needles and stuff. So,
Yeah.
anywho,
Did you have a
we
band
were
name?
we did. We were the Holy Infidels.
Yeah, I
So,
remember that because
yeah,
we,
and
your family, my family would get together quite often. We go to each
yep,
other's houses and play
yeah, and
the
I was
hell
thinking
out of
about
Rock Band.
Yeah, Renee and I were talking about that today, and we were like, man, I was thinking it'd be cool to have like a permanent setup.
I have it in the other room.
I still have everything,
It's all
but it's
set
not
up.
set up.
It's all set up
Really?
in the other room. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I've actually have it set up. I could take the instruments are just down here permanently in the basement by that Xbox, but I could take them upstairs. I have all the songs uploaded on both systems.
That's awesome.
They did a really good job of being able to carry over most everything from
That's
all. So I
great.
have like most of my library. I probably have 400 songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're still releasing songs into it.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's cool. Yeah, the cool thing about that game was that it reintroduced a lot of songs that I had forgotten about or just was never really into. Learning lyrics for songs that I'd never like. Not that I didn't. I just never put the time into like pay attention really. You know, stuff that was just on the radio or whatever. But like, yeah, like that game was awesome. But it wasn't the first game that ever came along that opened my eyes to new music, because Jet Set Radio Future did that. There was some crazy ass songs on that game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the songs on that on that soundtrack are so wrapped up in like just legal hell that game is never going to get re-released.
That sucks.
That really sucks. There's
the whole
some
concept
bangers.
of that game is so fun.
Yeah,
you know, it's like the artwork, the art style, and everything in that game is amazing. So, yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I always have Aisle 10 by Aisle 10 song "Hello Allison." I have that on one of my playlists somewhere because that song came off that game. But yeah, I really did like Rock Band 2.
Yeah. Did you guys? I played the original Guitar Hero.
Never played Guitar
whichever
Hero.
like the last whatever Guitar Hero came out on Xbox. I think it was 2.
3 was the last good one. I think that was the one that had Slash on it, and you could battle Slash.
I definitely played that one for sure because I remember
And
playing
I think
against Slash.
that was the one he released like a special like super deluxe edition with the real Appetite for Destruction copycat Les Paul from Epiphone, like that came with the game.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those things sell for like crazy amount of money now because they only made like 10,000 of them or something.
Yeah, no, and like just like if you have a drum set, keep it intact. It's worth a lot of money right now because they don't make them.
Time ago.
All that stuff is.
I got mine. I got all my stuff.
I've got 2 drum sets. I got a Rock Band 3 and a Rock Band 4 drum set, and I think they both work. I know the 4 one does because they use it all the time. But the kids come over and they'll play it still because it's there, so they play it. So
that's cool. That's so cool.
And they're a bunch of little metalheads. Like my son and his buddies, so they're always playing like the Iron Maiden stuff and all that. So pretty cool.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Anyway, so I don't know. That kind of wraps up this week, I think. Unless you guys got more, because I was just gonna say next week we got a holiday, so we're not gonna record, is my guess.
Yeah.
Turkey Day.
Turkey, and then the following week we're gonna be talking Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got
shrinking.
And hopefully shrinking. I'll promise you guys could talk about it. And you know what? No, I think for sure I'll have some shrinking watched by then. And on top of that, I really want to have some Silo watched. Season 2 of Silo.
Oh, yeah,
that came out.
Would like to watch Silo.
So,
is that good?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't watch season 1 of Silo?
No, because I didn't have Apple TV.
Well, since you got it right now, watch Silo. And then also, after you're done with Silo, Severance.
Yeah, I know that's on my list for sure.
Severance.
So my question first, because I haven't watched the season 2 yet at all. My question is because I believe in the book, the protagonist from book 1 actually does die at the end of book 1. And Rebecca Ferguson is the star of season 2. So how do they bring her back? That's my only question. So
don't know.
So maybe I got something wrong, but when I remember looking,
I think you have something wrong. I think. Yeah. So
Yeah, because my understanding, and I don't want to spoil too much.
Don't. In fact, you know what? Since he hasn't seen any of it, be real careful here, and because it twists. There's some twists in that show.
Yeah. So my understanding in the book that they can't get the helmet off at the end, and so they end up, even though things aren't what they seem. She just runs out of
okay.
the suit is sabotaged.
Okay,
in the first Jurassic Park book, Malcolm and in the beginning of the second book, they just say reports of his death were wrong.
All right.
I should really read the second one.
Was he really dead?
Ian Malcolm?
No, Newman.
Oh, Newman.
Oh, him!
No,
he's dead. He does not come back. They never talk about him again.
In the book, though, I don't think he dies in the book, though.
I can't remember. You're right. Maybe you're right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just remember they had a lot of cool things in the book that didn't make the movie, but then they kind of sprinkled them in parts 2 and 3.
Parts 2 and 3. Yeah.
Anyway,
in the movie, so one last thing before we break. In the movie, the character that what is that actor's name? What's his name?
Newman.
Yeah, Newman. So remember, he's sitting there at like the resort.
And he puts the
Barbasol gel. Yeah.
The guy there isn't. It's like the comedian. What's his name? The one that.
Oh, you're killing me. I don't know.
Oh, frick,
see, he's here. No one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
It's what's his name who got canceled. For oh my god, and he keeps trying to make that.
You're saying it's Louis V.
No, it's not Louis C. It's not Louis C.K. Louis C.K. is not in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
No way. Louis C.K. wasn't even like a blip on anybody's chart until well after 2000. There's no way.
Hold on, I'm looking it up right now.
If it's not, he looks exactly like him.
No,
he looks very similar. Very similar.
Then it's the guy. It's the guy in Old School that has to go out and buy all the KY jelly.
It's very possible it's that because I don't even know who that is.
Not Louis C.K. It's definitely not Louis C.K.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna leave that a mystery though because I'm tired.
All right.
And we'll be back with Skeleton Crew. We'll see how that goes. And Shrinking.
Wayne Knight, by the way.
Wayne Knight. Yep.
It's definitely not Louis C.K. All right, peace out, everybody.
See you guys.
See you guys later.